Let's go down to our panel to break this down more. Misty Marris is a trial attorney and legal analyst, and Dutch Merrick is a veteran armorer for film and TV productions. Thank you both for joining us. Misty, very quickly, I'd like to start with you. Attorneys for Hannah Gutierrez-Reed argued that she was the least powerful person on the set and that she is being blamed unfairly. They say it was the producers of the movie who were negligent for putting her in a position of doing two jobs. They say they said the producers, quote, expected a 24-year-old under really tough conditions to keep up with everything that was going on. Is that a solid defense?
Yeah, it's going to speak to causation, Elizabeth, and that's why they're going there. So one of the issues is that this set was mayhem, essentially, and that it was unclear who was responsible for what. And in addition to that, producers were pushing this to be on a quick timeline, come in under budget, and that means that they were shirking safety protocols. And we hear this in the defense opening statement where he specifically references a state OSHA, that's Occupational Hazard Administration, who speaks to safety in the workplace, a report that puts the blame on the producers. So the general thing is this was negligent. It's just whose negligence caused this tragic incident.
That state report cited, quote, rampant violations of safety rules and plain indifference to employee safety.
And prosecutors tried to keep that out. They fought tooth and nail to keep that report out for the reasons that we're speaking about, because the defense is going to use that to try and shift accountability.
Okay, Dutch, yes, Hannah Gutierrez-Reed was young, and yes, she may have been overwhelmed, but her most basic duty is ensuring the guns are safe. How did live rounds get on that set, and isn't this ultimately her responsibility, even if she is spread too thin?
Well, everybody I talk to in Hollywood, that is the question everyone wants to know, is the bullet, where did it come from? It's unheard of to have live ammunition on a film set. So, yeah, Hannah Gutierrez-Reed is culpable for not examining the bullets carefully enough each and every time she handled them. She's culpable for handing it to the AD, who the first AD never should have inserted himself in that process. But let's trail it all the way back to the beginning, to the source of that bullet. Where did the bullet come from? It's my understanding that the prosecutors have not investigated that. They do not care to investigate that. It seems very likely, especially with what the defense raised in their opening statements, is that Seth Kenney likely sent 6 live cartridges to a film set.
Seth Kenney was the supplier of the ammunition.
Yes.
Okay.
Seth Kenney, PDQ Arms.
All right, so Dutch, prosecutors say that she left a cart of ammunition unsecured and unsupervised during a break-in shooting. They say she didn't recheck the gun's bullets when they resumed shooting after that break, and that's when the accident happened. What is the norm for armorers? What do you do when you're on a set and you're the armorer?
Typically, every time we handle a firearm, we check to see if it's loaded, because anything can happen if it's out of your eyesight even for a moment. So we check to see if it's loaded. If we're putting dummy rounds in the gun, we will check the cartridges each time. And as we hand them to an actor, we demonstrate to the actor that these are dummy rounds or these are blanks, whatever it is, hey, and under the supervision of the first AD.
All right, Misty, one of the first officers on the scene was on the stand this afternoon. He said that that an attorney for Rust Productions was able to talk to everybody, the witnesses on the set, before he was able to interview the witnesses on the set. That is not the way that's supposed to happen.
No, it is not. And this is going to be another central issue for the defense. Was this initial investigation essentially very shoddy? And to your point, Elizabeth, everybody knows, you hear, I requested a lawyer. That applies when you're in custody. Police are supposed to be able to investigate and get witness statements before any of that happens. So that really
before
interfered.
They've coordinated stories.
Correct. And they didn't separate the witnesses either, right from the beginning. That was also an issue. So one other point, we saw some footage and there were 3 guns out on a table that were not secured. So a lot of what we learned today regarding the investigation and also what was happening on set came from this testimony.
Very quickly, 10 seconds, Dutch. I've got to ask, what is the reaction among armorers in Hollywood to this trial and what's going on and what happened on that set?
Well, I think some of us are looking for vindication to show that what we do is not what she did. She did something very out of the ordinary. It was a cascade of events, and there's a lot of bad characters involved in that play.
All right. Dutch Merrick, hope we'll have you back. We really appreciate your expertise. Misty, always fantastic to have you do our legal analysis.